All right. Welcome to the Off the Rails Sports Podcast for beautiful, what do we got here today, people? April 18th. Wow. God, Friday. Made it to Friday. Big weekend coming up in sports. NBA playoff start, NHL playoff start. We've got a lot on the ticket. We got a lot on the take. If you could, though, first hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the notifications button, too. We got a lot for you. I know you can handle it. You're getting some stunning commentary on the world of sports. Let's start out with literally the dickish move of the day. Deion Sanders, who there's never been a spotlight he didn't love, who never thought of himself in a higher regard. You know, literally, I'm a god among gods is, I think, what he thinks of himself. And I understand a father's love. But when you're in the public eye, it's a lot different. He has decided, I guess, arbitrarily, to retire two of the numbers of his current players or players who are going to the NFL. Travis Hunter is number 12. Shedeur Sanders, his son, number 2. Travis Hunter is a great player. No doubt about it. Shedeur Sanders is a very, very good player. I mean, you know, when you're talking about him going in the first round, he is absolutely an elite athlete. But you know, they haven't honored anybody from the national title team of 1990 in Colorado. Why? What's the hurry here? I mean, are the egos that thin that we have to, in the week before the NFL draft, where Travis Hunter is going to be a top 3, a top 4 pick, and Shedeur Sanders is more than likely going to go in the first round, even though he is kind of a wussy and not going to New York to sit in the green room. Doesn't want to be, you know, sitting there for day 2 because there is a possibility he doesn't go in the first round. You know, this generational quarterback. Jesus Christ, if I got to hear that again. Oh, yeah, generational talent. Yeah, let's see who takes you. And I'm sure somebody will. I would be interested, if you ask me. I think Jackson Dart is a better prospect than Shedeur Sanders. I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders isn't a good prospect, but to me, he's second-round talent. I understand the NFL. You have to have a quarterback, so you do have to reach out more than you do any other position player. But to me, it was just a dickish move by Deion to have his kid and Travis Hunter, you know, why? Why can't you bring him back in 3 or 4 years? You know why? Because he's afraid his kid's going to flame out. You got to get it now, right? We don't have one for Cordell Stewart, the last player in Colorado who got their number retired was Rashad Salam. God rest in peace. You know, hey, they've been down, but you know what? These aren't the guys. I mean, eventually they are. And we had an offensive lineman on a social media post say that, you know, they're kind of cutting in line. They're cutting in like Cordell Stewart, people like that. Heck, you know, but I guess Deion gets what Deion wants. What's the line in Gladiator when Russell Crowe looks at Joaquin Phoenix and says, you know, the time for honoring yourself is coming to an end? You know, yeah. I keep thinking that with Deion. Aaron Rodgers, another guy who definitely holds himself in the highest of esteem. He's making a little tour around, and he seems a little piffy. He's telling Pat McAfee that he is angry because he went to New York on his own dime, and they basically blew him off. He said they could have done it in a call. Yeah, right. This is called The Last Gasp. Let me tell you something. That's why our podcast is different. I'm going to tell you what it is. He was going there to beg for a job, because he hasn't got a commitment from Pittsburgh, Minnesota, New Orleans, wherever the hobo with the bag is going. He went to New York for one reason. He wanted to get in with Glenn Aaron and the new regime, and they basically kicked him to the curb. And they said, also, we don't want you in the quarterback room because you may distract from what is going on there. That tells me the guy who went to Egypt and missed minicamp last year was doing what he wanted to do. And look, when you're a star, you can do that. You know, I remember hearing the stories about Brett Favre when he was in Green Bay. And one of the funniest ones was they were they were kind of acting like they had a camera on the guys in the press box, the coaches in the press box. And basically it was like, oh, Favre drops back. And the guy in the press box is like, oh, no, 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 no. And then Favre rolls to his right. And then the coach is like, oh, no, 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 no. And then, oh, he ducks a defender. Oh, my gosh, no, take a knee, throw it away, throw it away. And then he follows back. He runs back to the other side of the field. He's like, oh, my God, no, no, no. And then next thing you hear is, touchdown. And everybody yells. Yeah, that's it. It doesn't matter what you do to get there as long as you produce on Sunday or Saturday or whenever it is, right? That's how it goes. And Aaron Rodgers, he probably will find a place. He said he'll play for $10 million. You know, did you not see Russell Wilson last year? He played for the league minimum. You may be having a hard time getting your quote-unquote $10 million, which would be the lowest among starting quarterbacks in the NFL who aren't on rookie contracts, but still. This dude, it's starting to catch up to him. He had 2 very unproductive years in New York. Really? You're going to pay that guy $10 million, huh? Where are you going to put that guy? Do you want him in the room? It's the reason Cam Newton isn't playing. Nobody wants that toxic dude around. That dude's like Chernobyl. He comes onto your team, he's going to want to start, even if he isn't worthy of starting, and he's going to separate the locker room. That's exactly what's going on. And that's why people don't want Aaron Rodgers. Because that guy is going to separate the team. He can go ahead and act hunky-dory. He got the coach fired. He got the GM fired. Hey, man, cool, whatever. Maybe he had something to do with it. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But it sure smells like he did. He had all the power there. All right, whatever. All right, like I said, the hockey playoffs are starting. Basketball are starting. It's going to be a glorious time. I already missed the Masters, even as dysfunctional as it was. Let's go through the league. Baseball. We're going to have Brian on later today. And, little shout out to my brother Scott. Scott was in a injury. That's why we weren't able to do a podcast yesterday. I guess we actually don't do a podcast on Thursday. My bad. Me and Scott are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Brian and I are Monday and Thursday. Scott injured himself. I hope you heal up better, buddy. Love you. You're one of the greatest people I ever met, you and your beautiful family. Just remember this. You're not 18 on a BMX track in Anaheim. Okay? Hello? You start going out there looking for Bigfoot, man. Bigfoot find you. You get hurt, kid. What are you going to do with these kids? Tell you something, man. He's out there on a bike, man, running through the forest. What does this guy think he is? You know? Tarzan? Jesus criminy. Love you, Scott. I hope you heal up better. I can't wait to talk to you again, my friend. All right, let's go through the league. We got the Diamondbacks. Rodriguez finally, the free agent signing, got off the snide, finally got a win. They beat the Marlins, which, you know, it seems like everybody beats the Marlins. They beat them 6-4, but the Marlins are 8-10. They're almost 500. Christ's sakes, what the hell happened there? Pirates get a 1-0 victory over the Nationals, and the Nationals are 7-12. The Pirates are 8-12. 2 franchises just not going in the right way. Andrew Heaney got the first win of the year. Not bad. 1-0. That's a pretty impressive game. Mariners pull out an 11-7 victory against the Reds. 2 teams basically at 500, 10-9, 9-10 for the Reds. Athletics are 9-10. They got an 8-0 win over the White Sox. And I'm literally, at some point, I need Brian to help pull me off this hill. I really think the White Sox are competitive. I know it doesn't show. But Jesus, I think they are. The Giants lost the finale against the Phillies, 6-4. Phillies, 11-8. Giants, 13-6. They're rolling into Anaheim this weekend. We'll see what happens. The Orioles finally snapped back a little, beat the Guardians 6-2. 8-10, almost getting to 500. They're getting close. Tigers, 6-1 over the Royals. Tigers are 11-8, winning record. Royals 8-12, still haven't been able to find that magic of last year. Yankees find a way to keep winning, 6-3 over the Rays, 12-7. Mets beat the Cardinals. Cardinals are 9-10, and I look at that team and I'm like, how does that even happen? They're just terrible, but somehow you find it through the organization, I guess. Mets are 12-7, and the Angels got swept by the Rangers, 5-3. Angels still, though, like Brian said, got to give him his due. Totally give him his due. He was right on this one. He was right on this. I will say the two, you're going to get stuff here you're not going to get anywhere else, but I'm never going to tell Brian this, but he knows a lot more about baseball than I do, and I know a lot. Let's get that out of the way. My mom says I do, okay? Hey, don't hate, okay? But he said the Angels he thought were going to be very competitive, and please. Team couldn't even get 70 wins last year, right? And he also thought San Francisco was going to be very good. And that's obviously the toughest division in baseball. You know, Arizona, San Diego, San Francisco, and the Dodgers. I didn't realize that division was going to be that good, but they are spectacular. We shall see how the year plays out. All right. If you could, though, like I said, hit the like and subscribe button. It means a lot to us. Hit the notifications and leave some comments. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you soon.